Hi guys!
Hello!
I'm with my best friend,
And I'm with my best friend,
Teresa.
Lawrence.
So, as people know, I'm trans, and this lovely person knew me before I came out, so I decided it would be fun to change up the best friend tag and do a FTM edition. Are you prepared for these questions?
I am
Teresa?
ready. Ready as I'll ever be.
And also we've got the gorgeous Channing Tatum.
Oh yeah, Channing Tatum and Zac Efron up there.
I'm
Look
like,
at them.
I'm like,
Beautiful people.
I'm just like, oh. Anyway, I'm getting distracted by beautiful men. So the first question is,
Yes.
what was the most helpful conversation we had when learning about my transition?
Helpful.
Yeah. Like, when I came out to you, what was the most helpful conversation we had?
Well.
I have a feeling I know which one you're going to say.
Just taking my time, you know, guys. The most helpful conversation.
Yeah. Like,
I don't actually know what that means.
well, like, when
Helpful.
I came out,
Yeah.
you asked me those questions, didn't you? So what was the most helpful conversation we had?
Oh, I
About-
asked you about your transition. didn't
Yeah.
I? Yeah.
Yeah, but what was the most helpful thing about that conversation that helped you learn about my transition?
Well, I learned about the change. I learned about how much of a, I guess, how much of a change it actually is, and it was a whole new thing to me. I'd never met someone who had transition before, and obviously I knew Lawrence before as a female and now as a male, so it was really inspiring to me because I'd never learnt about that subject.
Oh, I'm glad I educated
You did.
Number 2, what questions did you have when we first spoke that you were too afraid to ask me?
Actually, the one thing I was scared to ask you is about the transition. I was scared to ask you originally because, well,
Why?
because I didn't want to be rude. I didn't want to be like, so, how's the transition, you know? I didn't want to be really rude.
So what would you have asked me then? If you could go back to when I first came out, when I first told you, what would you have asked me?
I would have just said, hello! No, I wouldn't. No, it was like, I didn't want you to get upset, like, if I asked you about it, because you might not have liked talking about it, you know?
That's fair enough.
Yeah, that's why.
Fair enough.
See?
Number 3, what was the hardest thing to adapt to?
The hardest thing? Though, I wouldn't really say there was a hardest thing, because... Oh, actually, to be fair, I did, and Lawrence can admit this as well, I took a while to get used to the pronouns. Saying he all the time, I did take a while to get used to that.
Yeah,
but that's probably the only, you know, thing that I had to get used to. And now I call him he all the time.
And then you get really sassy when
I
people...
do. Sass.
you get really, like, when people misgender me.
Oh, I do?
Yeah.
Someone misgenders, I tell him straight.
This kind of links into the 5th question, but I'm on the 4th at the moment. So the 4th question is, when did you start referring to me by my preferred pronouns and name to friends and family?
As soon as you told me, about a couple of weeks later, I'd say a week later, I was so, you know, well, I was really honoured that Lawrence had come and told me, because I was like one of the first people in college that you told.
Yeah.
And
you were the first person, like, you were one of the first people I came out to.
Yeah, and I didn't want anybody misgendering you, so I told my dad and my mum, like, for when you come round here.
Yeah.
I didn't want them
Yeah, your brother was really good about it as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was on it.
My brother's only 15, mind, as well. And
He was 14.
So
He was about 14, 13 when I came out.
13.
Yeah, and he was so good.
Because we've known each other 2 years now.
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah.
A long time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, your brother was really good about it when he was only 13, and he was like, oh, that's cool.
He was amazed about it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was really worried when I came out, and then and then I came over and I was like, oh my god.
No, my brother was like really nice about it.
Was it difficult to switch pronouns and name? Yes.
Well, as I already said before, I just kept making the mistake. But now...
I remember as well, as soon as I came out to you and said, this is what I want to be known as, I distinctively remember you saying my birth name and me not responding to it.
Yeah, every time I would say Lawrence's birth name, he would not respond to me.
Yeah.
Like, if I'd say it by accident, and then I'd be like, what? Like, what's going on? Why can't you hear me? And then I'd go, Lawrence! And he'd reply. And I'd be like, oh, okay.
Hi.
But I could say it as loud as possible, and he still wouldn't hear.
It was like, as soon as I came out, it was like, my brain was like, that's not my name, so I'm not going to respond to it.
Yeah. Talking about when you come out as well, I remember, like, when you sent me that paragraph, and Lawrence was actually quite worried because I'd known him as a woman before. I was worried that I'd sort of be a bit funny about it, but I literally just went, no. I went, you're the same person and you'll always be my friend. So
I lost so many friends, didn't I, when I came out?
Yeah, which I think's disgusting because Lawrence is the same person. He's nobody different.
My personality hasn't changed. I think I've just become a bit more confident and a lot more sassy.
Yeah.
I think.
Definitely sassy. I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah, when I came out, I was so worried about losing friends, and I lost quite a few friends.
It was a real experience to me, to be quite honest, and I was like honoured that I could share it with him, really.
Aww. Aww. You kind of answered the next one, which was, how did you feel when I came out to you?
Yeah, I answered that. I have answered that. I felt amazing, basically. Honoured.
Did you feel emotional?
I felt honoured, and yeah, I did feel emotional. I actually started crying when you told me.
I told you over Facebook though, didn't I? Because I couldn't do it to you. I couldn't say it face to face.
I was so emotional that I started crying, and I was like, oh. And then Lawrence was like, really...
I can remember ending that long paragraph saying, I can understand if you don't want to be my friend anymore.
Yeah, and I can't believe that he even said that to me, because that thought never crossed my mind. I don't know how anyone could do that, really. How they could just be like, oh, you've changed transition, I'm not going to be a friend anymore. That's wrong. It's like,
at the end of the day, I'm still the same person.
Well, they obviously didn't care about you, so... Yeah, basically.
Question 7. Looking back, pre-coming out,
yeah,
that sounded wrong. Did you have any, like, feeling that I felt like a guy? Was there any, like, you know...
Yeah, you kept touching my bum. I
did that to wind you up, though, more than anything else.
That's still a pretty manly thing to do, though. It is.
Fair. I don't do it as often anymore now.
That is true.
I think that was sort of my way of just, like, suddenly just...
handling it, like...
Yeah. I remember one time when we were walking down the stairs in college, almost before we finished.
Oh, no!
And I literally got to the stairs, and I was, like, in such a good mood, because I think this was about 3 weeks after I came out to you, and I was in such a good mood. I was on a high, and I jokingly slapped Teresa's ass, and this jock, because it was like a sports and performing arts.
We were going up, like, past performing arts and the sports bit.
And this jock from the sports department, he literally yelled as he walked up the stairs, "Oh, cheeky bum slap!" And I was like, oh my god.
We just kept... Oh, we couldn't stop saying it for like weeks. It
became our like inside joke, I think.
It did. And everyone was like, what are you on about? And we're like, you know.
Yeah, every time I would say it to you, you just laugh, or you'd say it to me and I'd just be like...
we were the only people who knew. Apart from Megan, we did tell her.
Yeah. What helped you adapt to my transition, like knowing I was still the same person, etc.?
Well, that's just it. You were the same person.
I'm guessing, like,
Your personality hadn't changed.
no.
And you were the same person that I first met.
Yeah.
You know, apart from just, like, you changed
Different.
in some ways, like, you're, like,
Yeah.
in a good way.
I was looking worried, and I was like, excuse
What?
me? I was like, excuse me? How I...
You were, what, like, well, since I met you, you were wearing, like, quite manly clothes and that, but,
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. Oh,
James
Jesus.
is killing people
My
next
brother
door.
just said he killed someone. Okay.
Computer
That's not
games.
real. No,
Teenage
it's not.
teenage boy syndrome. Right there.
I keep itching my eye and my nose.
It's fine. I keep doing this. It's fine. How did you feel about knowing, oh god. Oh, okay. How do you feel about knowing I will start hormones and have surgery to correct my physical appearance?
I will just see you as the same as I do now, but my male best friend.
Gay best friend.
Gay best friend. Male gay best friend.
Quite, darling.
The
Quite.
amazingest gay friend ever.
Aww.
I'm like, hello.
I'm like, I think that's all of them, but
That is all of it. Well, is
What?
there anything else you could think off the top of your head?
what was your first reaction when I asked you to sign my deed poll to be one of the witnesses?
I was, well, to be quite honest, at first I was like, wow, like, you've chose me out of all people. I was so shocked. I was like, but in a good way. I was like really happy, and I was like, he's chose me out of everyone to sign it. And obviously other people, but like,
Yeah,
you know.
I have your signature in my wallet.
And
I carry a
also,
deed poll with me
one
at all
thing
times.
that I'll never forget is when you sent me that YouTube video and you mentioned me in it. About how much I've supported you.
I remember that YouTube video. I remember that.
I'll never forget that. I was literally in tears at it. I was crying at it.
Yeah, I remember as well when I came out. That was that like when I came out in college to the whole class, like.
And I went, well, basically I could see that Lawrence was getting really emotional, and I like ran out straight away as soon as you went out the classroom.
I was like, basically, one of the ladies from Laura Davies from Student Services handled it amazingly. And
Everyone in there like supported you really well. It was shocking, like how many people.
I was really surprised because I was like.
We have different groups in the college sort of thing. So
there was a lot of variety of people.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure exactly what they had been exposed to in terms of LGBT.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure how well they take it, but I didn't actually experience anything other than positivity.
The college were amazing about it. They like done a whole talk about it and everything. It was amazing. I couldn't believe it. And like they're even carrying it on now, from what like you've heard. They're carrying it on, aren't they?
Well, Laura Davies, who handled it from Student Services, she was amazing because she was, what's the word when you're like, when someone talks for you but it's your words?
I can't think myself.
It's not negotiator, it's like advocate.
I don't even know that word, so I wouldn't have known that.
Advocate. She was my advocate, and I remember writing this little clip. I like to call it a little clip because it was like 4 sentences. And I remember Teresa started to like well up.
Yeah. Oh, I did.
Because I remember saying like, I remember it starting off like, growing up, I was placed between 2 boys.
Yeah.
And I always felt like I was a boy. And as soon as I got old enough, I wanted to be a boy and I wanted to wear male clothing, and I would like everyone to call me Lawrence.
Yeah, and I was like, I think you didn't you mention I think you mentioned my name
Yeah.
in it, and
Yeah, I think
Megan's
I think I said as well in it that I was like
grateful to your friends who at the time was Gabby.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I said something like along the lines of I'm grateful to all my friends who I came out to prior to coming out to the whole class. That was terrifying though.
Yeah, well, you could tell it was terrifying because you went out the room as soon as you said it.
I was like, Laura Davies gotten to the end of like the sentence, and I ran for the door. I was like, and I was shaking, and one of my tutors, like Venetia, like poured me a cup of tea and let me stay in the staff.
And then we came out and they let us in as well.
Yeah, and I was just like...
It was me, Megan, and...
And then I remember as well, the next day, I remember coming in and being like, oh my god, I've come out.
Yeah.
I have no idea how this is going to go.
But people reacted like amazing, like...
Yeah, because I was like...
believe it.
Like, I was immediately expecting people to refer to me as my birth name and be...
Yeah.
assholes.
But nobody was, surprisingly.
No, I was like, I was so grateful, and I'm still grateful because I have you, and I know I will always have you.
You will.
Yeah.
And I will always have you.
No.
Yeah, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
How did you feel when I reacted to your transition? How did you feel I reacted?
Really overwhelmed.
I was.
really, really overwhelmed. I was really emotional. Because the first person I came out to was John Gaskin from Fort Hope after hearing New Life by them, and that just encouraged me to come out. And I remember I was crying when I wrote that paragraph to you on Facebook. Yeah. I sent you that message one night. I think it was a week after Fort Hope, after I came out to John. And I remember in the letter I said to him, I want to come out to my two best friends, which was you and Megan. And I was like, but I don't feel like I have the courage to. And then I remember him tweeting me, and then I was like, do you know what? I want to tell them because I can't do this anymore. And I remember just like crying and being really emotional when I sent you that message. And then I remember feeling really sick because I'd seen people had seen it, but hadn't replied. And I was like, oh my god, this is going to go wrong. People are going to react negatively, and like, you've been there the whole time. Because I came out nearly 2 years ago now.
2 years, Jesus.
Nearly 2 years.
Can't believe it.
I came out end of November 2014. 2 years this year.
I realised yesterday as well, I got red hair. I've had red hair for a year.
Yeah, I dyed it for you, didn't I?
Yeah. Yeah. You dyed it when it was bright red.
Yeah.
Like luminous.
Yeah.
Inspiration right here.
But no, I felt really overwhelmed. I had so many emotions. I was just like, I was scared, and I was anxious, and I was nervous, and I was like, is this gonna go right? Am I gonna lose everyone? And I did lose quite a few people when I came out as trans.
Yeah, but you're always gonna have that, like, with anything. I lost a lot of people, for example, when I had my phase when I didn't really have confidence, and I sort of lied a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That didn't go too
well.
well.
At the end of the day, I guess it just showed who my real friends were.
Yeah.
So, I'm happy that I'm still friends with you, and you're one of my best friends.
And I'm happy too.
You're the only reason I come back to Bristol near enough.
Aww.
Otherwise, like, yeah, I think at the end of the day, I think I would take it really badly if we stopped being friends.
Yeah. We're never going to stop being friends. You're going to have me there. Me, the maniac. The weirdo.
I'm not much better.
No.
So yeah, that was my FTM interview with my best friend, Teresa.
And my best friend, Lawrence.
Give us a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe.
At peace! No.
Share it with your friends. I don't know, maybe show it to someone who you know is struggling with gender identity problems.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
it's an important thing to talk about, and I think people should be more aware, and people should know about this.
And not only that, I think as well, it's a good example to show that even if you feel like everything's going to go wrong if you come out, it's not going to, as Teresa and me are a prime example.
Yes.
Because we're still best friends after nearly 2 years.
Hey!
And she's been there from the very start, and she's still here. And I haven't started hormones yet, but I know she'll still be there when I start hormones, and I know that if I invite her to come along when I have surgery, she'll be there.
Yeah.
So, bye guys.
Bye.